Why is it that in the black community, we align being black with struggle? And it's almost that we turn our backs to those who didn't necessarily have to struggle or live the struggle experience. You know, what really sparked this, I was watching this short or something like that, and this guy was interviewing D Rose. And he was like, he's going to ask him 5 questions to see if he was black enough. And a lot of the questions were like struggle questions. You know, one of them was like, if you don't have anything in the kitchen, what would you make? And he was like, kitchen sandwich, ketchup sandwich. And I'm like, this is what we really align being black with, the struggle. Now, I understand we do have to struggle. We had to struggle. I do understand that. But is that the only thing that we align with in the black experience is struggle? Like if we look at rap music, it's like everybody came from struggle, 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 struggle. And if somebody comes in who don't say the struggle rap or something like that, we turn a funny eye towards them, you know? Almost like they're not worthy. You know, it's like almost when you're black, they assume that you struggled. And then you have some black people who necessarily didn't have to struggle. You know, we outcast them. Like I said, I understand historically as a community, we've had to struggle. Being enslaved, Jim Crow, redlining. I understand that we've had hardships, but does that really make our identity? Is that really our identity just because that's what we've been through? And I feel like it kind of stunts our growth because we can't see beyond that. We can't see beyond the struggle. We've identified with the struggle. It's almost like somebody identifying with a victim. It's harder for you to break out of that or become bigger than that if all you do is identify with being a victim. So does us identifying with the struggle stunt our growth, stunt how far our minds can think, stunt our ability to do greatness or to become greatness? Because it might be a young kid out there who says, oh, if I don't struggle, then I'm not black enough. Instead of them charting down the path of not having to struggle. It's almost like we gatekeep against the ones who didn't struggle. You know, you grew up in the suburbs, oh, you're not black enough. It's like, damn, what if their parents, you know, came from the hood, came from the struggle and ensured that their child didn't have to struggle? But yet they are part of the community just like you. They listen to the same music, watch the same movies, you know, talk the same this, talk the same that. They just didn't grow up, you know, in the struggle. What about that? You know? So they not black because they didn't grow up on struggle sandwiches and share a bed, you know? Like, is that what we consider the black experience now? Because the way I see it, you still black when the police pull up behind you. Whether you grew up in the suburbs, grew up in the hood, you grew up, you know, overseas. If you got melanin skin with nappy hair, shit, the police see you as black. Not if you struggled or not. Not if you lived in the suburbs or lived in the hood. So do we stunt our own growth by aligning with the struggle and not accepting those or embracing every part of, you know, the black experience? Because the same struggle that you have growing up in the hood may not be the same struggle that somebody in the suburbs may have had. But the people in the suburbs may have had a different struggle. It might not have been financial, but it could have been a whole different struggle. A struggle to fit in because now it's people from whole different cultures and now these people don't know who they are. or their struggle might just be accepted, maybe being accepted by the black community because they grew up different. That might just be their struggle, where they want to identify, but then they've been outcasted by those who grew up in a financial struggle or in a private struggle. Like I said, I believe this does us this justice, that we can embrace everything as the black experience. Because it's something that you can learn from somebody who grew up in the suburbs or a different area, just like somebody in the suburbs in a different area can learn something from somebody in the hood. It's not that person's fault that their parents chose to, go to school and do this and do this and do this and ensure that their kids don't gotta eat struggle sandwiches. It's not their fault. We all wish we could have did that. Deep down inside, certain people just took that risk. Some people just took that challenge on. I said, I believe this just holds us back. If you didn't struggle, you're not black enough. And we always just, like I said, we always associate it with a financial struggle or growing up in the hood. That's the, like, we associate it with like the low hanging fruit, the bottom of the bottom. And that holds us back. That really holds us back. When we should be shooting for excellence. We should be shooting that nobody comes from a struggle. That the only struggle we have is breaking into new spaces. That's the only struggle we should be having, is breaking into new spaces and elevation. Not this private mindset, because it don't do us no justice. Anyways, let me know how y'all feel about this. This is your favorite cousin Rich. Y'all be safe out there. Love and blessings.